Hey everybody, we're going to do a matching tray and 4-set coaster. I have mixed resin. I'm going to hit the stop. I have mixed it 5 minutes. I'm going to clear that and hit start, and we're going to count up and time it, but we're really going to pay attention to the temperature more because I do believe temperature is important. So I'm going to put that to the side and just tell you roughly what I'm using, and then I'll come back once I feel like it's warm enough to proceed. You can refer to video 1058 for all types of resins, no matter the brand or the viscosity, and I show you how to mix it. So if you want to refer to that video for mixing. But once you mix resin, if you leave it in a deep container, it will heat or warm a little faster than if you mix it in a larger, more shallow container. So just keep it in your larger container, but you've got to keep a check on the heating or the warming of it with your infrared thermometer. They're inexpensive. The link below my video has everything in it, and I show it for this infrared thermometer. Right now it is 74 degrees, and we want it to be getting close to 100 degrees. So I'm going to set it aside. These are new molds that I've got that I've already used. I'm going to make a matching set this time. This one holds about 12 to 14 ounces, and these coasters hold about 3 ounces each. So I'm not filling them up all the way. I'm only going about halfway because I want a background layer. These would normally hold 12 ounces. I'm going to mix 6 for these, and this would hold about 13 or 14 ounces. I've mixed a total of 15 ounces, so it'll go to like 6 for here and 9 in here. And that will just be the bottom layer, and then we'll do a background layer. And I used Lett's resin, and I used the regular for just doing molds and things like that, coaster molds. It's not the deep pour, it's not the fast cure, it's not the tabletop. It's just the regular epoxy resin. It has little jellyfish on it. That's what I used for my resin. I always have baby wipes and alcohol for cleanup. I use 91 or 99% alcohol and baby wipes. They work better than paper towels. The baby wipes work better with the alcohol for cleanup. I'm going to mix about 2 ounces of white, and then I'll put it into a piping bag, which is ready to go inside of a cup. Today I'm using, for the first time, Lett's Resin Ocean White. Going to give that a whirl and see how that goes. And I'm going to put just a little bit of Angel Wings from Etsy Funshine Color Shop. That's a little mica powder that has a little shimmer to it. I use Sparkle White a lot, but Sparkle White is a little bit chunkier as far as the sparkle goes. I want it a little bit more pearlescent looking. And then I'm going to use Decorum from my 24-piece alcohol ink set. These are not as vivid as Pinata, which I love to use Pinata, but Pinata is very vivid. These are a little less saturated. I'm going to use Violet and Deep Purple. Violet is more of a blue purple, and Deep Purple is more of a red purple. You can see by the labels there. Just going to use a little bit of alcohol ink, do the white kind of 3D bloom effect, and hopefully it'll turn out really, really pretty. And then we'll let it cure for about 6 hours or so, and then I'll put a bottom layer on, and we'll unmold it tomorrow. I'm going to keep my timer running, and I'll continue to check the temperature, and I'll come back to you and finish out the rest. And I probably won't talk. I'll have my mask on while I'm doing all of that. I always try to use a mask. I recommend, this is a half mask. It goes over your nose and mouth, and it's got the 100 filters in it that are good for gas odors and things. And goggles or glasses. I recommend covering all of your facial orifices because it is a chemical reaction. There's no VOCs, but it's still a chemical, and there's micro bubbles that float up when you mix and everything else. It's purely safe after it's cured, but while you're mixing and working with it, you need to be extra cautious. So I will be back at the right time. Okay, I'll zoom in a little bit for you. And the inks kind of did funky, but anyway, I love the look of the white part. It's very ethereal, very silky looking, so I'm hoping it really turns out pretty when it's all said and done, when you take it out. The little dots, they looked like they were sinking, so I'm not sure if that's going to blob in the middle, but if it does, I can always do something on the other side and top coat it. But everything looks pretty good. I'm not sure how these little dots will do, because the smaller your piece, the more, you know, you can agitate it with, you know, doing your little, where you're pulling out and pushing in with the different petal shapes and so forth. So we'll just have to wait and see. And give it some time. We're at 49 minutes, but I was trying to show you too. It was about 100 degrees when I actually put it into the molds, and then I did everything else afterwards. And when I put the white into the piping bag, it was warm to the touch. If it's hot, then you know you've really kind of waited too long. But if it's warm to the touch, that's what you want for a really successful blooming effect. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed and hoping that these really turn out lovely. I used 4 drops of the white ocean white in the white mixture, and just a little bit on the end of a craft stick of the angel wings mica for the white mixture. Again, it was about 100 degrees, and it was around 30 to 35 minutes before I actually really started doing anything with it. And that's it. When you keep it in that mixing cup, it allows it to warm up, and you don't have to wait even longer. So we'll be back for the second layer. Okay, I can tell already that I love the look of this. You know, right now you can't see the white because it's pretty translucent, but it looks so feathery and ethereal. The only area that, you know, I'm not sure about will be the dots in the middle on these. But I went ahead and mixed 12 ounces to go ahead and do the back layer, which will be the background. And I used, on this layer, I used Counterculture DIY Fast Set, which has a 10 to 15 minute working time, and it cures in an hour or so. So I'd love to use it for the back layer or a top coat because it cures so quickly. It's a very fast curing resin. They have one that cures even faster, and I think it's really geared more for maybe tumblers. But anyway, I love this resin, and it's even ambered a little bit. This is an older batch that I have that I'm using up. Also, the thicker your resin, and this Fast Set is very thick. It's like honey, like a thick honey. But anyway, I'm going to use Lett's Resins dyes, and they came in my little box, I think, with the 32 ounce kit of the resin that I use, the regular resin. It's not their fast cure, it's just the regular resin. But it had a little set of about 6 of these, and it's resin dye. It's not alcohol ink. So I've got blue and purple, and I'm gonna kind of mix the 2 colors together. I kind of want to start with the blue. I'm gonna do a bluish purple, yeah, quite frankly. So that was just a couple of drops. So I'm just gonna, I want the color. There's a little separation in the middle here of the inks, and so I want to kind of make it deep enough to where it kind of is the background for that middle section, so you don't have a gap in the color. wanted to show y'all what I did. This is a plastic paint palette, and I took the extra resin that was left over and poured it in these little paint wells and put glitter in them, and then I can pop them out and use them for centers for other future pieces. So I kind of overworked this a bit because I had too much overflow, and I still have some that I'm going to stop because I was warming it right here so much that it's kind of like I can touch it right now and it's not really going to move. And I don't want to ruin my mold with too much heat, but I put too much into this. When you see it kind of starting to dome a little bit and go over that edge where it doesn't go over but it's like raised, then you know you've got the perfect amount. But if you go too far, then all these beautiful little scalloped edges, you're going to have to carve around them. And so that's what I'm trying to avoid. I got this one pretty much perfect, except for the one here, area here, and I got that fixed. So the coasters are fine. The tray I'm going to have to carve away a little bit of overflow. I'm trying to make it easier on myself, but so you could probably watch me and see that I was going back and forth trying to take out resin. I even put resin in this coaster mold and I'll let it cure and I'll just pop it out, but this was extra resin, and I took probably about an ounce out of this one by the time it was all said and done. I could not remember how many ounces I did in the first layer, and so then I just kind of guessed on how much I needed to mix, and I just mixed too much. The moral of the story is pour it into a different mold, or like the little circles I showed you. Do something like that. Add some glitter to it or some gold leaf, and just save them for another project that you can put in the center of a piece, and you don't have to worry about that glitter floating out into your project. So you can think of ways to be creative, but this is really hot right now because it's fast cure, and you literally have a 15-minute working time tops, and then it just gets so thick and gooey and it's just almost unmanageable to work with. And so you can see little imperfections. I may have to sand that down, and it may be okay where it's just, if you can't see it from the other side, hopefully that'll be the way it ends up being. But anyway, I'll come back in an hour or so and they will be cured to the touch, and I can unmold them and show you what they look like. I'll be back. Hey, it's been about an hour and a half and I'm ready to take these out. They're not warm anymore. It's, like I said, it's been about 90 minutes, and that's what I love about Counterculture Fast Set. And I wanted to show you, this tray that I showed you, I popped one out. So, I mixed the leftover resin that I had in my mixing cup, and I just poured it into these little plastic things, and then you have to just find something sharp to kind of pull up the edge to pop it out. And then it's like a real thin, domed, but not very tall at all, probably about an 1/8 of an inch or something. And you would put it into the center of a coaster mold, or whatever you want to put it in, but it just makes like little discs, and then you can use them without putting glitter into your resin and the glitter floating around because it's so lightweight. So that's just an idea to use your extra resin for. This is too funny. This silicone mold wanted to stick to my silicone mat like crazy. That is so funny. I've never had that really happen like that. Again, these molds were from Molds and Shapes. I'm in the US. They're not in the US, but they ship pretty quickly. And if you have any little, little tiny edges, they basically will just pop off. You just, bend them and they'll pop off. So this one does have a little spillage where it flowed over, and I'm going to have to carve that with the just a razor knife. Again, I've got spillage, but so like right here, I don't know if you can see, that is like a little string of resin that the resin was getting so warmed up and starting to cure that it just kind of wherever it landed is where it landed. So it's a little rough right here. I'll go around, and like some of this is like really super thin and you can just break it off. Super easy. But if you need to, you can take like a little razor knife and just very, very easily trim off any little edges that are, that have gone over the edge of the design. But I'll do that later. Do you want to see what it looks like? I'm excited. Here we go. Pretty. I'm not disappointed with my little white dots. Usually I've not had a lot of luck. A couple of them spread out. But, oh, what a pretty effect. I noticed, I found Lett's Resin's YouTube channel, and I saw them using ocean white, and I thought that the white just really had a special effect. And because I used, this bluish purple in the background, it makes the white not super strong, but it's very feathery. I don't know if that helps any to see it better or not. But it doesn't blob a lot, because I have had issues with blobbing, and that's probably me just going overboard with the pigment, making it too heavy, or timing wise. So this was at 100 degrees when I put it in, and I worked with it from about 32 minutes up to about 45 minutes, playing with it and everything. And luckily you can't see the big ring of alcohol ink that was very obvious on the other side. With this color being in the background, you don't really see that ring of alcohol ink as blatantly. So that really turned out quite lovely. I'm going to put that on a paper towel so that it doesn't get stuff stuck to it. Let me zoom in just a little bit more. And then here we go. These are okay. I don't love them as far as the effect that I have on them, but they match the tray. And I really, when it's bigger and more spread out like this, it's just super, super pretty. And depending on how the light hits it, the white has that little bit of the angel wings in it, the mica powder, that has that little bit of shimmer that's a little bit softer than my sparkle white, which is usually my go-to, which is a little bit chunkier mica. So this just has a little bit more delicate effect, almost like a butterfly wing or something. But anyway, I hope that you learned something with this video today. Please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please comment. I would love to have more comments on my videos. I'd love to have a little bit more interaction with you. And just let me know how you enjoyed the video and what you would like to see in the future, or whatever. I would love to hear from you. So Thanks again for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe. Love you all.